Naturally, most answers have to be tentative anyway, as you know, the relative. And probably the last aspect is also related to this one. It's really a question of trying to, you see, related to his first question, really, I think, in a sense. You see, question of trying to justify the actions of God to man as such, because as you have been saying, God is perfect. He doesn't really need man at all. He created him in the first place. But why should he make man then feel that man has to worship him? Whereas he lacks nothing. Why should he make man feel that he has to worship him, and not only worship him, but he also has to subject him to various forms of suffering, problems.
Also, again, this question pertains to the first question. Is a part of the same question,
it's true.
Said, and the answer also belongs to the same verse which I quoted earlier. I gave you the very fundamental fact that a thing which is not known is as if it does not exist. This is the fundamental. Even if there are two possibilities, either that thing is known to himself or is in any way, and unless it is known, it is completely non-existent. For instance, a flower in a desert. If that flower has not attained enough consciousness, according to biologists, to think of its own existence, a flower in the desert is non-existent as far as other observers are concerned. So, if that flower is beautiful, it would be a great pity if it is not observed by anyone. Even if it's not visited by insects or butterflies or other animals to make use of that flower, it would be a huge waste. Won't you feel pity for that flower? And now place God in the place of that flower. It's all beautiful. It's the source of all beauty, and yet he is unobserved by others. That is not a good situation. That's a huge waste.
Yes. I get the answer. Yes. You have something else to add? Otherwise, I just a minute. I have, again, it's something general. I think you touched upon it. This Marxism. I think in one of his writings, in rejecting the concept of God, he really would like to think that man is matter is actually primary. It's the beginning and the end of everything, and that man is a highly developed form of matter as such, with his consciousness, and therefore his spirit, his soul, is nothing other than a highly developed form of matter. And therefore one would tend to think that there's nothing beyond matter as such. No, so in that way you can dismiss the idea of God altogether. How would we explain?
Cannot dismiss the possibility of existence of God. What you can dismiss is the need for God, perhaps. So this means this is not a conclusive argument, in fact. If there is matter and a developing matter, why should it negate the possibility of a creator? It does not. Not to me, anyway. It's illogical to believe that because there is a matter in the form of constant development, so it should negate the reality of God or the possibility of existence of God. It does not. in fact, the more development you observe, the more you begin to think of a creator and a designer. So this question does not negate the existence of God. This question can only open up a possibility where we should begin with this claim that there is no God. Then what should be done? He presupposes, in fact, what Marx does is he presupposes that there is no God. And when he presupposes it, then he sees that perhaps there is no need of it either. So that is what he wants to say. Because there is no, he doesn't believe in a God, he observes the phenomena as a very short-sighted observer and sees the matter developing by itself. Now, this has two aspects. One, the fact that the matter is developing, that cannot be gainsaid. We all agree with Marx. But to say that it has been developing without an outside agency, this is a claim beyond our observation, because we don't know. This is why I said Marx presupposes that there is no God. Because if the matter is found to be by a neutral observer in the state of constant development, there are two possibilities which open up to mind. One, that matter was developing by itself, and the second, that somebody else was responsible for all this development. Just the two possibilities, because when you see the rolling stones, both these two possibilities appear to you even then. That stone could have been unhinged from its mooring by an earthquake to begin with, of course. There was a cause. But from then on, it appears to be rolling by itself. No human hand is required, obviously. But it could be that somebody has thrown it. So how can you obviate that other possibility? Unless you presuppose it. To follow, this is exactly the fallacy of Marx's thinking. To observe the phenomena of matter development is okay. Matter is developing. But to obviate the other possibility, that it was developed consciously by a conscious being outside the matter, that is where Marx has gone wrong. Not to give us a chance of considering that possibility.
Possibility, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed.